All right, and here's the niche details on this architecture. I've had this video presentation or this presentation put together. I've got copies of this file that are 3 years old, so there's no questioning that this was the first thing that I put together before I put together my website. Anyway, the website's 3 years old, so again, this is probably could be 4 years old now. Actually, the copies that I have. Anyway, the idea I can prove I started working on this in 2018. Well, I can prove I started working on it in 2019, and then it culminated in this in my mind in kind of a series of flashes overall in 2019, but I couldn't possibly describe all of this, instantly. Then I butchered it in 2020, and anyway, I tried to largely, this is the details. So you need all of this in a validation in any of these crypto transactions. That's the smallest increment of like a transaction or a validation that you could look at. And they're trying to monetize it. It's huge in the market. How valuable this technology is. That's why their technology is so valuable. This is a more advanced version of looking at their technology because of this piece I spend most of my time talking about, where you have this, it enables this overall rotating algorithm set, more advanced rotating algorithm. Now this, you dig really down deeply, and you have in the background a rotating set of rotating number generators. So you have these rotating number generator algorithms, and they're foundational in the overall cipher strategy that you use later on. And so if you're combining the strategy on this rotating number generator and these seed values that are coming into these rotating number and overall encryption, and you can have different market opportunity for like Norton and McAfee to build these different market opportunities for this overall master encryption layer. Some of this will default to your operating system if you don't have this. This is another further piece of security, but I mean, it's useful to have this be something. I know you kind of need a default option, and it's just one less security layer. Technically, the operating system companies are always going to be in a position where they're going to be able to access a lot of this information if they wanted to internally on site. The idea is that you're building over this overall set of, it should only be 2 networks really. You should have your operating system layers and then an overall central, your Cyberforce main platforms. Now you'll still have multiple of these throughout this is just how the grid works overall. But you'll still have multiple of these data centers. But anyway, these foundational layers will interact in this way, where you'll have your operating system layers coming together with some of this, and then you're building the channels. You can do this with apps that team members manage. Now you could do this with this overall identity matrix. This can be done on somebody's personal app. They can, and again, is so secure that these security professionals, it would only be tailored to that particular individual, and they would know it's got their whole identity proof. This would be unhackable. It would rely on biometrics. It's how we collaborate on the market. That's a huge wild card in how you solve this. I solved that. And anyway, this is how you get all of this more advanced technology in place. Now, you have these rotating security algorithms, and they seed these cipher algorithms, and these networks collaborate on how this industry designs the architecture. That's a hard thing to do, but again, that's why I talk about these data strategies for partition tables, because you'll have in a partition this rotating pieces for this rotating number generator to come together, and then you'll also have pieces for this that's what will get accessed to drive some of these other security features and generate some of your security tokens when you need new security tokens. And it's dedicated to your device. You're using factors like, the device ID and the personal ID, there's no reason to use that as a seed value in your function that drives your encryption algorithm, your random number generator, or your cipher script. The cipher script is very complex, and I haven't thought of exactly how I'm going to build my own personal cipher script algorithm, but this RSA is largely what you need for most of just the validation and invalidation in most instances, and these other pieces, because you'll be able to validate whether or not something came from a genuine trusted source or not, and a trusted identity thus associated with it. And so these are all things that you need to protect these more advanced product opportunities, like especially the psychology tools that I'm talking about. But but especially protecting people's access to opportunity. I mean, they're both equally important. I guess the psychology tools have really been cool for me in my life and my personal story. But yeah, now, true, this access to opportunity and solving these problems, this would have actually made it easier for me growing up because I would have been able to chase after so many different things. There's a degree, I argue this is the most important thing we can do with the AI because you have my role model shadowing system in the background, and that's a part of my AI architecture that this all relies on. And that's another class of algorithm that is really elegant that I've got serious strategy to. So I've done a lot of things for a team here. Anyway, I've talked about the interconnected architecture. I've talked about how this library strategy comes together, acquired libraries, Cyberforce team, handoffs. That's a key slide that has some cool information if you want to pause the video and look at some of these things. There is more information on the slides whenever I show this stuff. But I don't have all the markets on here. Another key one is that's very key, then I should have always put it on this slide, but I thought about putting it in the identity products layer, but you need a hybrid code repository system, and because that's so identity dependent, maybe you can fuse that with this over cloud major market vertical. It's arguable that it might be if some of these are smaller or don't have a lot of workload, that you can put more things in a major market vertical and you just diversify how that's managed in the addendums of strategic pivot, and that's our business's bill of rights for how we work together on the modern markets. All these concepts I had to put together so that I could talk about this overall operational strategy for this algorithm. It's all very, very complicated, okay? And I do have a lot of data on this. Like, I understand it very deeply. You can see I'm talking about a switch in the physical permutation structure, so that you run some of it through a series of logic arrays that permute the data, and you can even work together on manufacturing processes, or different teams are manufacturing different layers. And so there's even data on that team that has further compartmentalization, like where you could potentially, when you're storing the data at Cyberforce, different teams would be controlling different how some of this information comes together, so that Cyberforce can't ever be hacked. And they all have deep appreciation for one another's skill sets. And that's why this stays so secure, because you've got appreciation in the market and the network for maintaining this overall advanced secure society. You have to have arguably strategic pivots so people follow along with how important this is. And can really chase after why they should trust it. You can sell so many more things if you have all of this presentation that I'm going to try to keep to 10 minutes. And this is the foundation of the future. It's the foundation of having your safe AI strategy. The combination of these things, Elon Musk. I want you to understand this, Elon Musk, if you ever see this particular video. This is maybe the most interesting video you could watch, Elon Musk. Because this is a lot of elegant product strategy that I think you would appreciate as an engineer for what it enables. Now you have a strategy where you at Tesla can launch the Optimus robot at scale in the market, and all kinds of people can be tailoring this for different industries. And you have the security, how different apps, different industries use for software to drive your hardware, and all this compartmentalization and the overall algorithm that enables you to shut down different teams, to have a compartmentalization strategy to shut any platform down of different complexities deployed in different ways. Like, you have all the structure on identity, device, tables. The only thing that's not I'm talking about is in the cloud. You would maybe have one specific to manufacturers and some different structures for the enterprise products that they interface with. But I'm talking about that whole product ecosystem and how to succeed at it with the market, with my major market vertical model and the business's Bill of Rights and Article 28 of the US Constitution. And so, Elon Musk, 9-minute video. I appreciate you so much. If you see this, if anybody sees this and really seriously wants to think about this, this is the biggest thing in geopolitics, because it leads to treaties of the future, mutually assured success around how this all could be deployed globally. And I've got the perfect brand mission and story and origin story for you. If the world ever gets a chance to do something where they can stand for all of these things and they don't take it, I'm going to be pretty confused for the rest of my life what America really was ever about, to be honest. And that's going to be sad for me, given key aspects of my life story. I'm going to feel sad for a lot of people, really. So, but Elon Musk and team and Cyberforce or the military homeland security, I appreciate you all. Thank you, men and women who serve in uniform. This is really for you and your families, so much so. It's for everybody. Everybody, DEI, role model access to opportunity. If you don't have the right role model network, you won't have the right access to opportunity. Again, it goes beyond. These are the things that are the implications of why DEI policy was employed. Again, this is going to be a permanent dynamic because you're always going to have, do you have access to a network that your family has tied into, or have you met the right person yet? So this is ultimately the networking. This is how you have all of these problems solved in society. I swear to you, I would fight for you so hard. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate you. God bless. And we're all God interconnected, but maybe there is this thing out there that's trying to help us find this. It seems like it's appeared to me. It's really weird how this is all, and as a black woman, no lie, I will take lie detector tests on all of this. So many crazy interrelated things. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you.